Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. Today, your spooky horror host. We're for the spooky season in Spooktober. Yeah, spooky stuff leading up to Halloween. And this time, what could be more spooky than ghost stories? Yes, yeah. And this is Ghost Stories number 33 from Dell Comics, 1974, I think is what it was. 1972. And you don't come across these very, very often. At least I don't. And part of this may have something to do with, the part of the country that I live in. But just like when I was a kid, see, I didn't know Dell. It wasn't until I was an adult that I found out that Dell was still publishing comics through the 60s and 70s, or into the 70s. Because I never saw any Dell books past the split from when Gold Key split off from Dell. And so I've only, in the last 35 years or so, seen some of the Dell comics, just a very few from that time period. Because where I lived, we just did not get Dell comics. We got Gold Key, Marvel, DC, Charlton, those, but we never got Dell. But of course, we had Dell prior to that split with Gold Key. So to me, any Dell comic from the 60s and 70s is a rarity, and I very seldom come across any. So, so it's surprising. This is a Bronze Age Dell horror comic of ghost stories, and I have to say their quality was diminishing, but all these stories are still well crafted. Some good artwork. Like I said, the stories are well crafted. They're not necessarily good stories. It has a couple of stories that I do like. And mostly they're just a little bit on the creepy side. And I think what might have really helped it, though, if it had a horror host. I love horror hosts. They help bind the book together, both all the stories in an individual book and from issue to issue. So, nothing on earth can explain these weird tales of suspense and mystery. This is the deadly race. Well, our first story is Ghost Stories, is Final Encounter. It's a little hard to read. It's well drawn. I don't know any of the artists, at least from their styles, but I know I have seen them elsewhere before, but I don't know them. This is a lion tamer, and he's a real mean and cruel guy, and he's up against this one lion who just hates him. In fact, the lion is the one that gave him all the scars on his face, and he's a circus performer, and they've had problems with this lion and performance before. And here they're supposed to be performing. This is in front of a crowd, and the lion goes nuts and kills a tiger in the cage. And the owner's going to shoot the lion, and says, "No, I'll take care of him." And but they just tranquilize him. Then later, he says, "I'm going against that lion." Later, all by himself in the cage with the lion, says, "I've had enough of you. I'm going to take care of you." So you're trying to You're trying to be the master in the ring. Well, that's my job. You can't have it. And they go head to head with his whip and his gun against this one-eyed lion. And suddenly the gun misfired. And what happened? Suddenly, well, we see the guy still standing there, and you can see the lion. But the lion is wearing the clothing, and the lion's got the scars. And the man, who is obviously still part lion, see, it's weird, but the lion became the man, and the man became the lion. Then the second one, Dead Heat, is about auto racing, and I'm not a big racing fan and stuff, as I've said before when I covered some of the hot rod stuff. But this is about the rivalry between these two racers, Chick Parker and the guy in number 88, whatever it is. And Chick Parker always keeps coming in second to him, and they have some words. Well, Chick is just so, and they're about to have a big race, Grand Prix, and the night before he does something to number 88. So on the race, and they're going, and number 88 is in the lead when suddenly something happens. Crash, boom, and the guy is killed in a fiery crash. And he goes on, said, "Now I'm in the lead. Nothing can stop me." And he comes around and around, and he looks in his rearview mirror, and there is number 88. So that's not possible. He's dead. I just saw his car go up in flames. And they get to the same spot that number 88 had crashed. Chick Parker crashes and burns and dies. Boom. But no one else saw that number 88 there. Now here we go. This is actually the story that I like. Is out of the blue, in the wilderness in Alaska, this lady and her son lives. Her husband had died about a year before, and she's thinking of getting out of there. They're stuck in a blizzard, and they need help because she sent her son out to get more firewood, and in the process, the wind blew down a tree limb, struck him in the head, and he needs medical help, and she can't get out, so she calls the airport. Fortunately, now these are the stories. These last two stories are the ones that are really nicely drawn. You can see right there in that lady's face and everything. It's all very, very nicely drawn. And she calls the airport, see if they can get someone can fly out and get her and her son, because they're stuck there and he needs medical attention. I'm sorry, with this storm, no one's getting out. No planes are taking off. Then she hears a plane. She goes, "What the heck? It's a plane," and it's a ski plane. It lands right out there. The storm has forced us down. He says, "Can you help can you fly my son out?" And I says, "No, this can't get out with this storm. It's forced us down. But he needs a doctor." He says, "Well, I just so happen to be a doctor." And he gets in there, sees the kid, always has the injury. He's going to have to operate to relieve pressure on his brain. And again, it's really, really nicely drawn. Some of the stuff really reminds me of Al Williamson, but it's not him. But just little things from, maybe he did the inks. I don't know. I doubt it. Anyway, so she is so grateful. He performs the surgery. It's a success. The boy's recovering. He said, "Okay, let me fix you a meal. I'm so grateful." Yada yada yada. She goes out, and they're gone, and so the plane takes off. And then when she calls the airport, and says, "No, we didn't send anybody out. There's no one out there." She gives the tail numbers from the plane, and he looks, and this is from a few years ago, that the same people that we saw that was helping her was a doctor. They were lost in a snowstorm. Oh, see, that's I think a better story. Then we have this one, In the Pool. This takes place in Italy, near Rome. This guy who is big in construction and a little bit on dubious business and some stuff on the side, buys some property with some ruins on it, has its stuff all reconstructed and restored, so that he has like a mansion of Roman proportions and quality. And then amongst it is this, out and back is this area with some what seems to be stray stone blocks of some kind. And he decides he's going to build a pool there. Has the pool built and uses all those owned rocks, stones there to line the pool. He has all that stuff. And meanwhile, he's being mean and nasty to everybody, including his wife. So he gets somebody over there. Oh no, I'm not going to. People swimming. First people to swim in his new pool. Oh, there's something down there to pull me down, but there's nothing visible there. And so they go home. So then when he's alone, he goes ahead and swims down there. And he swims, and he says, "Oh my gosh, what are they? All these faces, and something is pulling me down and dragging me down, and help!" And then later, his wife comes home and said, "Hey, Tony, guess what I found? Oh, I got a treasure. I found out this. Somebody had this this old scroll describing our property, and said, you know what? Right where you built that new pool, this was." Used to be a graveyard, and those stones you're using, those are headstones. And there we see, and on the chart there's the same drawings of the horrid monsters that we see on the stones there. So actually, I like that song. This one was really, really well drawn too. Some very nicely done stuff there. So that's all I've got with these spooky ghost stories from Dell Comics, Ghost Stories number 33. So I do want to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Have you seen, or do you have any more of these Dell ghost stories, or some of the other Dell books from this time period that I never got to see when I was growing up, and I still almost never see now? Let me know all that stuff. And remember, comics are art.